Property Source Radio. We still have a few more minutes to spend with our guest, Gary Britton, who's the manager of the North Dagle Brighton office. Alex is with us, of course, our property expert, Pat Coyne, who's somebody, by the way, coined Pat Coyne as the Don Imus of the real estate biz, which I thought was kind of funny.
I laughed all day after I heard that one. You know?
Like that?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I love it.
And we have Gary Britton with us. You know, we were talking about some of the aspects of living in the Flower City and presenting the Flower City to people who may be moving here for the first time. I remember in '87 when I moved here, I knew I was moving to Rochester, and I was going to be staying at the Holiday Inn. Remember the old Holiday Inn downtown?
Yeah,
it has had 5 or 6 different names since then. And I remember jumping on the shuttle bus at the airport for my first trip downtown. And the shuttle bus guy, he, for no particular reason other than he just wanted to, get me there, drove me through city streets and city neighborhoods that left a less than great first impression on me, if you know what I mean. I said, really? Now, I knew that every city has this kind of look at some point or another, but it seemed to me that a first impression would be to bring me, make sure I drive down East Avenue, make sure I come around in the expressway so I can see the skyline, so I can see the city at its best, rather than, I'm not going to say at its worst, but, at its rather mundane.
Well, you'd think he'd want to drive you around in circles and simply to increase the fare.
Well, that wasn't the shuttle guy's job.
I think he made the direct route.
No, I know what you mean there, too.
But I just had a client. They're coming here from Houston, and he's doing a job interview, which is another thing I'd like to talk about. There's been a lot of people coming in. I have had a lot of relocation people coming in, interviewing for jobs. So,
interesting.
That's contrary to what you hear also.
Yeah, good to hear.
But I brought him in, and, of course, he wanted a tour, which realtors, that's part of our job. And I did the 490, 390 to give him an idea of traffic flow. And I did it at drive time, and, it was slow in some spots, and we crawled a little bit, but it's still, from Bushnell's Basin to downtown, only took me 20, 25 minutes. And he said he's used to standing still in the car for 25 minutes. So to him, this was fantastic. He was excited, and he was, very much wanted. But we drove up to the reservoir in Cobb's Hill, and, of course, you can see the skyline, and you can get a pretty good idea of the smallness of the community by going up there, too. So, yeah, he thoroughly enjoyed it, and he was exciting.
That's awesome.
A little ride down East Ave is a necessity.
Oh, yeah, we went down there and
that's
looked
gorgeous.
at some of the beautiful houses. And
I had a question. You guys reflect a minute on the 80s when Steve mentioned, moving into town. Was the traffic flow much heavier than it is now? I mean, now it's almost like my dad's, when we drive together downtown, he's like, this is ridiculous. This city is almost, non-existent for traffic time at, rush hour. And wasn't there a huge increase of traffic now versus then? You know what I mean?
Well, what has happened that I found is that a lot of malls have built up.
Yeah.
A lot of stores have opened up. I mean, I live out in the Pittsford area, and trying to get down Monroe Avenue is like trying to get down through Central Park, New York.
Yeah, no, that's...
I mean, it's packed in there. They've got so many stores that they've been just bringing to town. So, and it's amazing when you hear the mall's going to build another 75,000 square feet and new stores are coming. Where's the economy? Is it depressed?
I don't think so.
I go by and I see 1 million stores opening up.
And 1 million people shopping at those stores that come out of the stores with bags and bags of stuff. So you have to wonder, and that's why I think, we are in kind of a little bit of a bubble here in Rochester as far as the economy and the housing market. We haven't really seen, yes, we definitely have been hit, but we have not seen what these other places are seeing. And I think the consensus is when they're talking about the housing market, they're talking about the worst of the worst. The places in Florida, these $400,000 homes that are selling for $125,000, and Nevada, where the housing market is just absolutely insanely terrible. So I can see, but here in Rochester, where we're always just doing okay, we're never like great, but we're never really bad either. We're just always kind of in the middle, which is great.
We talking a little bit about the commuting time, and a survey came out this week from Kiplinger.com that pointed out that, oddly enough, among cities in the U.S. with the easiest, most affordable commute, Rochester, New York, number 1.
Whoa. We hit number 1, huh?
In the nation.
Easiest commute. Awesome.
They base it on things like public transit use, yearly delays per commuter, local gas prices, the length of the commute. The average commute, national average in the U.S., is 25 minutes.
Okay.
And in Rochester, the average commute is 19 minutes.
Wow.
We came up number 1. Number 2 was Columbus, Ohio. Number 3, Providence, Rhode Island. Richmond, Virginia was number 4. And Buffalo was number 5. Now, they point out that some of the characteristics that these cities all share is a population decline.
Okay.
But, I still like living here.
Yeah.
I have
I
no
do
plans to move away, so I don't worry about that stuff. And
I do too. And you know what? It's not that bad, Steve. You talk about population decline. I'm not familiar with a neighborhood here where every third house is occupied or every third lot. Where you see these shows when they do news releases on like Nevada, Las Vegas, and there's only 4 people living where there's maybe 40 houses. So it's dangerous. It's almost because you get squatters and all this crap. You don't see that here.
That's right. Well, you see, those job markets just collapsed. But everything was overinflated. I mean, I've done a lot of research as to what's going on with the bubble. And, a lot of it, I mean, granted, there were people that just lost their job and it was difficult to stay in a house. But a lot of people were being greedy. And they were buying houses. They were inflating the prices. They were financing 125%.
Wow.
So then when the market adjusted, I mean, they were upside down. And many people just said, well, I think I'm just going to walk away rather than take the loss.
One more reason why they say that our commute is the best in the nation is that we have some of as the article says, some of the happiest, least stressed urban commuters in the country.
That's so true. I was visiting my daughter in school in Phoenix, and as I was downtown walking around, I didn't have one person make eye contact with me.
In Phoenix, huh?
In Phoenix.
Oh, that's kind of
sad.
sad.
And, in Rochester, it's just a friendly community. I mean,
is.
people will come up and smile and talk to you, but over there, it was like maybe they saw me coming. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was just Gary Britton with North Bagel Realtor. Here he comes again.
Maybe it was the robe I was wearing.
Gary, I have
Could be.
a little bit of bad news for you because we're running a little bit late. Charlie Sheen, we'll have to maybe bring him in next week.
Okay.
But, this whole Charlie Sheen thing has me just totally baffled.
He looks terrible.
Yeah.
Well, what do they do? Put makeup on? I mean, is he on screen? Is he all made up a lot better? Because he does look terrible.
He lost a lot of weight. His face is kind of,
And he looks high on these. He's on these rants and raves. He's promising exclusives. I'm very confused. Where's the truth? Where is this, or is he just doing this huge media thing to sell books?
Here's the thing, though.
I don't know.
When Britney Spears, I don't know if you're familiar with Britney Spears, but everybody is.
And she had her meltdown, yeah.
When she had her meltdown and she went into seclusion, she got so much negative press. People couldn't believe that she wasn't out talking about what happened. And here's Charlie Sheen, who's winning, and he's everywhere, and people are loving it. They want to see his face. They want to see his crisis. They want to see him have a complete friggin' meltdown in the middle of a talk show because it's interesting, and he's not having a meltdown in New York City and then being whisked away to some rehab and not talking about it and Tiger Woodsing it. And you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Hey, join the party, celebrate with me. And people are.
All right, look at it this way. He is the star of the biggest comedy on TV.
Yeah.
He has never been a problem child on the set. We've never heard of him having meltdowns on the set.
Nope.
We've never heard stories of him coming in high or unable to perform.
Nope.
And he points out, I do not have a morality clause with CBS. So what I do on my own time is none of their business.
Exactly.
Makes sense. That's true.
Exactly.
And here they've stopped production of his show because of his offstage antics and
So you're defending him a bit.
a bit.
Okay.
Well, I feel sorry for him. It's difficult to live, to be paid $2.6 million per show.
In the public eye,
that's
too.
pretty stressful.
It's
Yeah.
stressful.
I know.
Remember the show Cheers, Ted Danson?
Yeah.
Yes.
When that show was at its height, and how many years ago is that now? 20 years
20,
ago?
probably, yeah.
He was making $5 million an episode.
Wow.
Wow.
20 years ago.
That's
Wow.
huge.
That's amazing.
But, as I say, if you can bring that money in ad revenue, and CBS cleans up with 2.5 Men,
Yeah, they do.
then you can't, I'm a firm believer. If people offer you the money, take it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel bad
Yeah.
for the other cast.
Right.
I
They're
mean,
not
I
getting.
don't know
Well,
what that
they're not
boy's gonna
working.
do.
They're not working at all right now,
right.
which is
Yeah.
a little bit tough. Although we did learn this week that Warner Brothers is going to pay the staff for the 4 weeks that they won't be taping. So they'll get some money because
At least those
And-
300 people will get something.
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, when this all went down, when this whole Charlie Sheen meltdown thing started happening and they stopped taping of the show, I think Charlie Sheen paid the cast out of his own pocket because they weren't working. And the studio said, well, we're not going to pay them. And he said, well, I'm going to pay them. I'm the one who's holed up in a hotel room smoking crack until I can't see straight.
Oh, that's
so
big
I'll
of
just
him.
pay you for, you know what I mean? And
That's big of him.
I think that's why people are responding so positively to him absolutely losing his cool cool is because he is everything he's doing, he's putting it right in your face. This is my lifestyle. Go away. Leave me alone. This is what I want to do.
Do you think it's a PR campaign to
Not at all.
No. This is him. It's
This
his,
is him. This
take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and I think a lot of people, look, I'm not condoning everything he does.
Oh, me either.
I mean, those two hot blondes are okay.
That's
they're the goddesses.
But that's my whole point. His goddesses. I think people are jealous of what some people have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you have to admit, I think he drove off the road and he's going through a forest.
Oh, he definitely
He looks
is.
ugly.
Yeah,
and things
he's looking
coming out
rough.
of his mouth are ugly.
Well,
Yeah.
But he's just,
So I hope he comes back. I
Yeah.
like the show. I
I
watch
hope-
it. My
yeah.
wife doesn't.
Yeah, it's a good show. Yeah.
he's a busy man.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
hard. It's tough carrying around that much money.
It is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a weight on you.
Tiring.
somebody goes out to Coastal View and buys a couple of houses. And,
While he's
Well, you
here,
know,
Send
that's
them
an
your way.
interesting thing.
take him out there this afternoon.
Well, let me tell you something else that's come into the market. There have been a lot of celebrities going to Canandaigua.
You got a confidentiality
I have a
agreement
confidentiality. I
signed?
don't want to. I mean, that was
yeah.
probably enough just to say that.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
but
attorney told me
there
the
are
same.
a lot of celebrities looking to buy at the lake because it's so much cheaper.
yeah.
Oh yeah, well it's beautiful too. If you
Yeah.
come from an outside city, it's absolutely stunning. Those Finger Lakes are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
just
it's a nice second home for somebody.
it is. I know there was an NFL player, celebrity cousin of mine that lived there for about 10 years, and he just sold the house last.
You have a cousin who's an NFL player?
My cousin's husband, so it would be by marriage. Yes. The kicker for the Colts, Biasucci. Do you remember him from the 90s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Well,
Gee, a guy who knows nothing about football.
As a relative.
and this is a good little bit here too. We were on vacation. My family was on vacation with my son. Now my son is about 6'3", and you know he's a pretty good sized guy.
Yeah.
And we were staying at this poolside hotel, and over off to the side in a cabana was Magic Johnson. So when he got up to go get some drinks, you know, I kind of rushed over with my son and said, "Would you take a picture of my son?" With
Yeah.
he was
Magic
very
Johnson.
friendly about it.
Sure.
So we shot the picture, and I have the picture right now. And I'll tell you, my son looks like he's 4 feet next to this guy. Magic's head was as big as a basketball.
Wow.
And his hands covered almost the shoulders of my son. So you really don't know how big these people are until you actually see them.
All the more reason to love Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Gary, thanks for joining us. You're invited back
It's
anytime you
been
want to come.
fun.
Well, you can't come back next week. We have a different guest next week. But anytime you want to come back, you're certainly welcome. You fit in perfectly with Property Source Radio.
That means I'm a little crazy?
A little bit crazy.
All right, good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Matt, you're very crazy.
Yes.
We'll see you next week, of course. Alex, nice job.
Thank you. You too.
Don't forget, we have Sabres hockey at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Afternoon game on ESPN, Sports Radio 950 ESPN. Sabres at Flyers. It's a 1 o'clock start. And, we'll be back next Saturday morning, 9 to 10. You can get in touch with us, PropertySourceRadio.com. Drop Pat an email or any of us. And we thank you for joining us. Anything else? What are you laughing at over there?
I shocked you with the football.
Yes, you did.
kicker.
You blew me away.
Yeah.
Blew me
He
away.
was speechless.
Well, it was a good segue to Magic Johnson.
It was.
That was good. That was good.
ESPN Radio up next. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day.